Everyone, welcome to episode 177. We have reached the halfway point of the 2026 MLS regular season campaign. We have a lot to talk about this week. Of course, we're going to talk about what happened over in the middle of America, where Red Bulls Rubalcaba got himself a brace and the win, of course, over the Sporks, over Sporting Kansas City. Red Bull 2. What's the name? Remember we talked about having a terrific winning streak? Now all of a sudden they have a 2-game losing streak. This time they got ripped up by Connecticut United at home over at the campus. And of course Gotham FC, our lovely baddies, they slip, trip, and fall in CONCACAF Champions Cup. So they don't even get third place. They lost that game, and of course we'll talk about that, and more during our match recaps. And a wonderful treat for you guys. We feel very honored this evening having the one, the only Michael Lewis, soccer writer extraordinaire. He's here to talk about, of course, the FIFA World Cup. He's been literally live to a lot of them, of course, also MLS Cups, and we're going to talk about the tournament at length. The roster reveal was just simply, announced, and to say that folks were not too happy about certain players being left off and players somehow winding up in the roster, yeah, we're going to talk about that pretty much at length, about what's the doings on that. And of course, the U.S., talk about their schedule, and of course, the red, white, and blues chances of trying to reach to the round of 32, not 16, 32. This year's World Cup is supersized, of course, to go and coincides with the nation's 250th birthday. So, of course, right now, this is the live show that we're going on right now. And, of course, if you missed it, no big deal, boys and girls. As always, you can catch the recording on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And, of course, our home from the very beginning, Spotify.com. We upload our episodes every Wednesday at midnight, so you can always stay up to date for your viewing and listening pleasure. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, or anything else, even with our guest, Michael Lewis, we have a email address. By all means, don't hesitate to do so. RBDG the podcast at gmail.com. That's RBDG the podcast, one word, at gmail.com. Your feedback is always important to us. We even read your emails long after we sign off for the evening. And of course, we always welcome those comments. And of course, we send in, an invitation to everyone in the discussion group. Michael Lewis is going to be with us in the second half of the show. And by all means, ask him directly some questions about the World Cup. The man has a wealth of knowledge that he's willing to drop on all y'all. If you offer for the question, so we were looking out for that. And so with that said, boys and girls, let me bring in at least one of my, with my stars today, of course, the one and only Miguel Nunez. Lanre Badmus is working with some, equipment problems, but he'll be with us shortly. And of course, naturally, he is currently celebrating his butt off. And why not, ladies and gentlemen? His favorite club, Arsenal, won the league.
Right.
Congratulations, man. I mean, I can, you know what they say? Game recognizes game. Congrats, brother. I mean, woo, okay.
That was my light, Garry. Hold on.
Okay. Woo. Okay, so looks like we're having equipment problems all over the place. He's technical different, but he'll be back. So let's do a quick, recap about what's going on as far as the Red Bulls are concerned. They went down to Sporting Kansas City. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the model, Reezy Biggs. Now that's your handling, because
it's been my athlete. It's been my athlete this summer. Biggie Smalls.
That's Biggs. Right. Cool. I mean,
Mr. Knicks.
Well, yeah. I mean, hey. I mean, I'm celebrating because we're doing something we haven't done since 1999, and this is the part that scares me a little bit. More on that later. But let's talk about Arsenal for just 1 second.
Congratulations, Miguel.
I mean, you
and more.
With 3 games left to go, and a lot of it was in doubt at that point. What what was on your mind? Like, oh, here we go again.
Well, yeah, I mean, most definitely. Okay? However, I must tell you that I was confident, okay, and only because this Man City team this year hasn't been a machine.
No, they haven't been.
It has been.
No. I mean,
haven't been in like 2 years.
Not 2 years, and now, of course, then their coach, exit stage right. He's, I don't know if he's going to another club or they haven't made an announcement yet.
There's certain rumors about that, Garry.
Okay.
Because as you know, Man City's up on like 115 different charges of like financial.
I'm sorry.
Writing on the wall.
I know that may be true because I've been reading it myself. Okay.
Now.
Okay, because
he thinks that the writing is on the wall.
I mean, because we get Sky, we get Sky
Man
Sports.
City fans are speculating this.
Because we get Sky Sports and they chirping. Okay, they chirping. They are. They chirping. I mean, they're saying okay, but I hate to yell BS on this one only because they should have done it already. That's one. Two. The Football Association, they smack down little clubs for doing less, and you're afraid of big bad Man City?
No, little clubs don't have the financial might.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
To keep the litigation at bay, okay?
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
I mean, they have no trouble. They have no trouble going after Bournemouth for one, and strangling them, for a couple of points. You had no problem with a second tier team, Everton, because they came so close, winding up in relegation because of it. And there was another club, I'm thinking the second tier. I forgot the name real quick. They just got off probation. Okay, they just got those points that was deducted back, okay, and that put them, in the next tier. So, I don't. Tell you, unless let's put it this way: unless I see it, it's all talk. It's all talk.
Right.
I mean, right. It's all talk. Moving on.
It is all talk. Because they have lawyers, they have that oil money, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's all talk. I mean, money talk. What's that famous catchphrase that Carlos always says? Money talks. I mean, this is one of those things. But until then, show me. Show me how big your balls are. Go after the big boys. Okay.
As we were talking previously on the show. Okay.
You went after Chelsea. Okay. What? You went after Chelsea. You chased Abramovich out. You went after Chelsea. You did.
No, my club has been dead ever since. That was the death of my club.
That's my point. You have a track record of going after clubs when you want to. So here you go. You got a club that's been dirty. There's no bones about it. They've been breaking rules left and right. So you're trying to tell me now you gun shy?
No. The only, as we talked about, the only reason this happened was because someone hacked into Man City's emails. Okay? Otherwise, nobody would have known. Okay? But they paid so much money under the table to get so-and-so, 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 and so-and-so. Okay?
Tom Poppins telling us Everton and the other club was talking about Sheffield Wednesday. They got slapped.
Yeah. They got hit with the earliest relegation ever.
They got slapped. They're still seeing stars after that. They're still seeing stars. They got slapped.
Listen, and not to mention, there was that club, Southampton, that were in the promotion playoffs. Like they were going to go to Wembley for the last spot. But they sent some intern out to video training.
Idiot.
It's like a $200 million stake. Anyway.
And got caught.
Listen,
Got caught.
Yeah, they gotta
I'm
sack
gonna
him.
tell
They
you
gotta
right now,
sack him.
the Arsenal
And got
have
caught.
to- Listen, I'm gonna
Sorry,
tell you right now.
your services are no longer required. You're done.
Right.
Goodbye.
I'm gonna
And
tell
got
you.
Uh,
caught.
I'm gonna tell you
Naked.
He's
something.
never getting a job in football again. No, it's clip. It's
Well, it's too
clip.
bad.
All
But
right,
I'm going to
moving
tell you
on.
something right now. The last word, Gary, on this. The Arsenal only had to wait 22 years, which is a long time, right?
It's a lifetime.
Because
Definitely
there
lifetime.
was at least one club that just poured a lot of money into their club, okay? And a lot of that was under the table, Gary.
Yeah, payola. I mean, what?
There
I
you
mean, come
go.
on.
You know?
I mean, this is new. I mean,
Listen,
is this new?
Chelsea to a lesser extent. As a matter of fact, they did it under Abramovich. Abramovich was forced to go
Because
the
of
new
it.
ownership.
When it was right,
By
when it was
by
known,
the English, by the English government, by the
yeah,
English
it was
government,
government, right? When it was known,
English government, the war in Ukraine.
right?
When that shit kicked off.
Chelsea's new ownership, like self-reported, because listen, it wasn't us. This guy was doing this.
I have a
Okay.
problem. I have a problem with people self-reporting things.
Self-stitching.
Listen,
Self-stitching for what, bro? Self-stitching for what? Why?
I mean,
Why?
all right, but seriously, let's move on. Let's talk about
Thank you, Gary.
the last time, the last time we looked at the Red Bulls, they were in
One
seventh
more
place.
thing, Gary.
Oh, okay,
Gary,
come
I just
on,
wanna tell you
come on,
something. The last
come
year-
on.
Last time we were on in the chats, in the chat right here, people were crying. The Arsenal haters were freaking ba 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 ba. Okay, listen,
I'm
listen,
pretty close to
You
taking
couldn't,
back that-
you
that
couldn't
congratulations,
wait
buddy.
to drop that bomb, couldn't you?
I'm pretty close to taking back that congratulations. Real talk, man. Crazy.
Hey,
Thank
this
you.
is the reason why we're called the gentlemen. We always
Okay.
have each other's back.
Let's move
Okay,
on,
so
thank
there we go.
you.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Last time we talked about the Red Bulls, there was a seventh place. Now they're in fifth. Okay, after that win, after that win versus Sporting Kansas City. Now to talk about the group, of course, was started by our old friend Clem Sorelli, and he is somehow now the
Old
patron
friend?
saint. Okay,
Old friend?
easy. Okay, easy. Easy. Okay. We're saying on the show because of purposes, but he does have a point. He's noticing that the team has coalesced, the team is getting healthier, and because of that, results are happening. So my question
Can't
to
see
the
his
both.
comment. That dude blocked me 2 years ago. I can't see his comment.
Okay, well I can because I'm an admin. So my question, so my
Maybe you should
question
make
to
me
you-
admin so I can kick his ass out.
Stop it. That's the reason why you're not an admin. Because look, man, your emotions sometimes get in the way of what I need to do things. But the question is, but on the real strength, though, we all said to just about everyone who was willing to listen, let's not put any expectations on these kids and just enjoy the ride, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, of course.
here they are here they are basically as we reach the halfway point of the season, where the team was expected, including among the the experts and pundits and everybody else, somewhere hanging around in last place. They're in fifth. They're in the shouting distance. Within, if I'm looking at 3 points away from the top four. So, based on that, is the hype real, or we're still telling people tap the brakes? Lanre, you have the floor.
It's okay to be encouraged by the recent results, the recent performances. Seems like the team is gelling, it's starting to click and fire on all cylinders, especially on the attacking side of the ball. However, it's also okay to pump the brakes just a little bit, just because of the fact that it is a long season, and we're not even at the official halfway point of the season. It's already the World Cup break, so we're going to be gone for a
Correct.
while.
That's all it is. Right. That's all.
There's going to be a long layoff. Not everyone on the team, in fact, only a few players on the team are going to be at the World Cup. So most of the players, when they get back, they'll be rusty. They're learning basically how to play at that intense level again. Because this is something that we've never seen. We've never had a World Cup in the United States with MLS in existence. So this
That's
is something
very
that
much
all
true.
the teams,
Most
have to
that's very
deal
much
with it.
true. Yeah, that's very much true, Lon. If you remember, in World Cups past, MLS just simply played right through it. Okay,
Yeah.
in so many cases, except for if I remember even one, they took they maybe took about two, maybe a 3 week break, but we're talking 2 months, no soccer. Okay, for about so while FIFA mandated this, it's like, okay, all you guys over in MLS now, you're gonna take a break. What? No, 2 months. Shut up. You guys are gonna take a break for all this. But
Listen, Gary, if we were on the
Some people
European
do.
schedule now, it wouldn't have been a problem.
no,
Okay?
it wouldn't have been a problem. Miguel, your thoughts
Yeah.
about your
Yeah,
thoughts
that's
about
right.
the team being
That's right. That's right.
surprisingly, in fifth place. I mean, do you feel that the hype is real, justified, or slow down?
No. You gotta slow down, okay? This team this year has been Jekyll and Hyde, okay? Sometimes during the same game,
Yeah.
sometimes they'll start off and like, we're going to MLS Cup. The second half comes and it's like, I mean, this is Sunday League football.
There have been a number. Okay, yes, there have been more than a number of games where they have literally embarrassed themselves, especially defensively, which is,
Charlotte,
Charlotte was. Look, we got dog
Montreal.
in Charlotte. Montreal, we got embarrassed. Okay,
Both games,
as in
by the way.
both games.
wicked
As in
Carmona.
somebody, as in somebody walking up to you and dropping your pants in public. Embarrassed. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. You out there half naked in front of everybody, cops getting ready to arrest you because you're a pedophile right there in front of all the kids. That's what I'm talking about. Embarrassed. Okay, and your name, your name up there, up there in 4-point letters saying arrested. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. But I think, for the most part, and this is my take on it, I'm going half and half here. Get excited. Yeah, you like what you see with the young kids. We knew that they were going to bring something to the table. Okay, that's not to that's nothing to be excused or put under the table. They're doing their things. Okay. Hall is probably the reason why he's keeping Chupo on the bench, because he is scoring lights out left and right. You got Mehmeti, who's making those delicious final passes, which we haven't seen since Amadou Guevara. Okay, in the midfield.
Guevara, man.
We haven't seen that in a while, but he's doing his thing. Do I want the team get a veteran left back or two? Well, maybe that's something that they will work on and discuss, while the break is being happening. I've talked with, and I talked to Julian de Guzman. He said they got some people out there. He's got some, it's got some phone calls and stuff like that. He's well aware that there is a weak spot in the defensive area they're looking to shore up during the World Cup break. Let's hope he gets it. Okay. Because there's really no guarantee, although there's going to be a lot of choice ballers after the World Cup is all said and done. There's a lot of dudes that left clubs, chief among them in Liverpool, which my girlfriend is like begging and pleading that somebody, sign this guy, okay? We're talking about Mo Salah. And I love to have him with the Red Bulls, but I'm like, I don't know.
He's going to Saudi.
He's going to the Saudi
another
league.
Guy from Liverpool, and I forget his name, but he's
Van Dijk?
He's a defender.
Van Dijk?
He's rumored to be coming to MLS.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, Van Dijk,
No, it wasn't Van Dijk. It was that.
Oh, wait a minute.
No, Robinson.
That dude, right? Robinson. I mean,
Robinson,
I would love,
yeah.
I would love to have
Robinson.
Robinson here. I would
Right.
love to have Robinson here.
Absolutely.
That would solve a lot of problems in the
Let me
back.
tell you that,
I'm being honest with you. That would solve a lot of problems in the back.
And that guy Casemiro from Man United.
He's going to
rumored
Miami.
to be going. Oh God! Hold on.
Okay.
No.
He's going.
I'm not the only one with technical difficulties, man. That's wild.
He's rumored to go to he's rumored to go over, heading over to Miami, from Manchester.
Right.
Manchester,
He's
right.
rumored
He's heading
to be
over there.
headed to Miami.
Right.
That guy Casemiro.
This club, I don't get this club. But then again, I mean, somewhere along the route, as much as we love Red Bull to do the same thing with Miami, I'm so glad they don't, because your seats would be very expensive like everybody else. And, all of this, all this, break, this 2-month break and stuff like that. Is this justifies the reason why they should simply switch over your European calendar? Miguel, very briefly, we'll start with you there.
Oh, of course, they're having this would have been the time to switch, not next year.
Yeah, we're going to do that next year.
How stupid is that? Okay.
Well, okay, you and I both know, Lanre, there's some pros and cons with that. One in particular, weather. I don't know about anybody. I don't know about anybody else, but it gets real cold up there. Not December. Okay, December is when winter is kind of cool. It ain't too it ain't too brisk. It ain't too brick. Okay, you get a little light snow and everything. The BS happens in late February, early March, where supposedly where the important games happen, but we're not going to see large attendance. I mean, like some people think, this you need to get over it. Look,
they play games now.
they
do games now in February and March.
I mean, well, in Europe. Yes, but
here,
their winter.
Here, that's when it starts the season.
Red Bull Arena in late February.
But it's never
freezing.
It's freezing, yeah. But it's never been so. I understand that. No, I completely get you guys. I understand it because I
2022 opener, 2022 opener against,
and it was freezing. I know, but it was
He lost.
It was painful. Okay.
Minnesota. 2022 opener against Minnesota. Brickest soccer game I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah, brick. It was seriously
brick, man.
I was out there in the press box, and it was freezing. We're there with a heavy coat on and everything else.
Right.
We're all looking at each other and said, this can't be forever. I was like, well, yeah, it's who would know, who would have figure out that naturally it was going to be like this. But okay, let's real quick go to the match recap, and of course we'll talk about game balls right after that. Here's Sporting Kansas City, Red Bull New York.
And the Hudson River Derby, a 1-1 final against New York City FC. Julian Hall will kick it off. Red Bulls with the first touch of the game. Big ball by Justin Che, long diagonal, and off we go. MLS regular season appearances going into play tonight. Headed forward by Berggren, a little touch by Hall. Berggren has it again. Opportunity here. Ruvalcaba has scored early on. New York Red Bulls away have a dream start. The man who scored the only goal last week has the first goal of the night. Red Bulls take the 1-0 lead 3 minutes in, thanks to Ruvalcaba.
So smooth in this moment, full speed, and then just So
Stephen Cleveland with a couple of touches. Now Capita pushes it down the right-hand side. Capita charging down the right-hand side. He's got options. He can take it himself, or he can look for Joveljic, which he does, but Marshall Ruddy with an important intervention. A defensive header, but there's still a chance here. Now it's Jaden Reed for Sporting Kansas City. A shot that's blocked. He recovers possession, and a header is saved. Calhera
has to try to get some pace on it. Not enough.
Now Calvin Harris. Harris had a huge game 10 days ago against LA Galaxy, looking for a sliver of space, and he found it, and the shot is saved at the near post.
Well, this is why I was saying this is going to be a really interesting game, because I think it is going to be back and forth, as we've already seen. Harris finding a little bit of space. Should have whipped that in earlier. Could have found Calhera.
Ruvalcaba, Kate Cowell. Cowell, right side, goes for goal, swallowed up by Cleveland. The New York, New Jersey Metro Stars and Kansas City Wizards. And here's Joveljic. It's given away. Calhera, all kinds of time. Maybe he took too much time. Horvath recovers, and he saves the attempt by Calhera, who has his second chance of the first half for Calvin Harris to put himself in great position, but Horvath denies.
And there's that previous play. Big ball over the top. Joveljic pounces on it.
And a good ball. This is a real chance. It went into Hall. Good decision to square it. Basong recovers. Ruvalcaba looking for a second, and he has it.
Fade the defender with his first touch. It's an excellent first touch right there to get the ball under his control.
It's a bit heavy, but Capita still able to collect it. Now Jake Davis. Lasseberg Jonsson lofts it in, and there's a header by Basong, and there's a goal scored, but a flag is up again. Well, Basong's chance ended up falling for Joveljic.
for finding space inside the 18-yard box. Always looking to pounce on anything that's loose right in front of the goal, but Song's making the run out of the midfield, and then Jovic in the...
With Austin FC the last 2 years, it did not have a league appearance, only played in Leagues Cup or Open Cup play. Rubalcaba saved the aforementioned 7. Doncourt chasing after him. Reed in a position to cross it, and does. Headed away from Calhera, but falls for compete there, chest it down, and his shot is right to Ethan Horvath. In defeat of Calhera, layout back to Manu Garcia over the top. Calvin Harris trying to reach it. It's an own goal, perhaps. It's in. It's Sporting Kansas City. They pulled one back.
We're about to come into no man's land. There's a little clipped-in ball, but Harris in the right place at the right time just to get.
In defeat of Garcia, nice turn, and he puts in a Frifa, and Frifa's got a chance to tie it, and just missed the near post.
Versions in the team, but look at the positioning of a Frifa. Just gets out wide of one of the defenders, and then it's a positive, such a good first touch to be able to get down, control it, to come on to it, and that just taking players on, putting in a lot of work.
Oh, giveaway here by Wyatt Meyer, and a chance right now for a third. Oh, and far post, it's wide. Nice little layoff by Mitchell. Harper to his left to Julian Hall, and Hall just trying to beat everyone down the field to save Cleveland.
But that's the running I'm talking about from Julian Hall. A little diagonal break coming. Here's a previous play, and I love this from Hall. It's just the simplest little thing, but he knows the pressure's coming, so it's a little angled touch to cut off his defender to give him a little bit more time.
2 goals last year,
Great
1
touch
so far this year. Manu Garcia to Jovic. Jovic, will he pick out a pass, or will he shoot? He will shoot. And he put a lot of pace behind that, but it's right to Ethan Horvath, just raises his hands up. Ball back to Cleveland. We've played over 3 minutes of stoppage time. Will there be one last opportunity here? There will not. Nabil bin Salah blows for time, and the match is over, and on the strength of 2 first-half goals.
First of 2025. Bregman, he got his first assist of the season and now his second in his Red Bull career. He's tallied his 3rd and 4th MLS assists of the season. He's now have 5 total in his career. The forward now recorded 6 goal contributions in his last MLS, 6 MLS appearances. Hall has now recorded 2 multi-assist matches this season. He has 13 goal involvements this season, which ranks tied and 7th for the Eastern Conference. He's also the 3rd youngest player, Miguel Lanre, in MLS history to record multiple assist matches in a single MLS season in 18 years, 60 days old. He keeps that up. He's not going to be here very long, okay? He's already stacking up stats. You know, I mean,
another massive problem.
The kid's a monster, bro.
I mean, the kid's a monster. He's the reason why Chupo sitting on the bench. Okay, everyone's asking, "Where's Chupo? Where's Chupo?" Well, Hall is the reason.
Hall.
Yeah, you know, Hall is the reason why Chupo is. Everyone's asking, like, "Where's Chupo?" Like everyone's asking, "Where's Waldo?" I mean. The win puts the Red Bulls in 5th place for the moment, okay, until MLS gets back into play in about 2 months from now. And the good news is now that break is happening, we understand that Kate Cowell got a little dinged up, but there's nothing to worry about. He'll be healed up just in time for the next Red Bull game to take place, which be against the Philadelphia Union, and that'll take place deep in July. So we don't have to worry about that. So before we move on to our next segment, of course, which we have Michael Lewis in the virtual green room standing by. Game balls, gentlemen. Who's your game ball going to in this match? Miguel, we're going to start with you.
It has to be Rebel Kama. Okay? with an honorable mention to Julian Hall.
Honorable mention. Okay. Oh, by the way, he also made team. He also made team. He also made team match. Team a match of the team.
Even the match week.
Yep, match week. He did. He made it that way. And forgot. I almost forgot before we got the end. Please forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. I know everyone's yelling and screaming at me because of this win. And of course, City, for some crazy reason, they somehow lost that game versus Nashville. We won the weekend. And so you know what that means. I know better late than, as I say, better late than never. Please blow that horn. So there you go. So it's been a while. I mean, we haven't heard the horn blown in almost 2 months. So it's been a while, but it's been a while. Our first win in Lanre, who's your game ball going?
About Cabo, of course, with the Braves, and then Julian Hall, honorable mention. Miguel took the words right out of my mouth. This is Robocabo's best game at the Red Bull so far, and he's really starting to become such a key focal point of the attack, and his counting stats are catching up to his the impact that he has on the pitch. I'm happy for him, and I hope he gets on the Mexico World Cup squad. I don't think they've announced it yet.
No, they haven't announced it yet. I think they're going to. I think within a couple of days from now. They're still trying to figure out. There's a lot of talented ballers down there in Mexico.
A lot.
A lot. And I honestly believe that they're going to be the best team out of that group between them, Canada, and of course the United States. And speaking of which. I asked Miguel and Lanre to do their homework regarding the tournament, and they're going to be doing that, of course, with our special guest. Michael Lewis will be coming with us on board, and we're going to talk all about the World Cup, since we'll have nothing to do for about the next 2 months. And, of course, who's in, who's out, and who does he think will take on the trophy when the final takes place at MetLife Stadium. Stick around, boys and girls. Michael Lewis to follow. We'll be with here in 30 seconds. This man, of course, on our lower right needs no introduction, but we're going to give it to him anyway. This man is been around soccer since the early days of the Cosmos, and we're talking about the original Cosmos, and original, and ASL. If you remember this one particular team up in Rochester, of course, that he has a book all about them. This man has covered every single MLS Cup final since the league has been founded, especially a lot of World Cups. This man is one of not only a good friend to the show, but of course a mentor. This is probably the reason why we call him the living legend, and why his soccer knowledge is deep and wide as the ocean. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Michael Lewis. And before we begin, sir, happy belated birthday from all of us here at the Gentlemen of the podcast. Welcome aboard, sir. Good to see you again.
Thank you very much. Great to be on. And I just wanted one slight correction. I did miss one MLS Cup.
What?
In 2020
What?
COVID.
Okay. Oh, that's right. When everybody was forced to stay home. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one.
But it is what it is. But great to be on, though. I appreciate the invite. Thank you.
The World Cup will start in about a couple of weeks from now, and as we go to air, we just received word of the 2026 Men's National Team World Cup roster, and I'm going to briefly explain what's been going on. Goalkeepers, Matt Turner. We know these guys were going to be on. Matt Turner, NYCFC, Matt Freese, and of course Chris Brady. The defenders, Sergio Dents, Chris Richards, Anthony Robinson. Austin Trusty, Miles Robinson, another Miles Robinson, okay? Tim Ream, we'll talk about him later. Alex Freeman, Mac Arfston, Mark McKenzie, Joe Scally, the midfielders. Tyler Adams, of course, we've always, our homeboy, he was going to be there. Winston McKinney, Brandon Aronson, Sebastian Berhalter, Christian Roldan, Malik Tillman, Alejandro Zendejas, and here, of course, the forwards. These are the guys that make the money for the USA. You got Gino Reyna, more on him in about a minute, Ricardo Pepi, Christian Pulisic, Haji Wright, Folarin Balogun, and, of course, Tim Weah. Every time I hear his name, guys, I want to slam my fist to a wall because Tim Weah was in the Red Bull system. We had this guy. I mean, either his parents or whatever the case may be didn't want to waste his talent in MLS. But since he's been to Europe, he's been basically banging in goals. But as I look at this roster, Mr. Lewis, there's a couple of ballers that's missing, or am I being senile here? There's some dudes in there that didn't make the squad that should. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you. Yes, the two key players who I think should have been on the roster. One is Diego Luna, who causes chaos in the midfield in a very good way against the opposition. We saw it last year, Gold Cup, some international friendlies as well too. Fearless player, willing to take risks, and not ridiculous risks. He reminded me sort of like a Tab Ramos, nowhere near what Tab has, but again, someone who was willing to try something, and if it didn't work, try it again, try something different. I think you need a player like that, and Pochettino, I thought he was in love with him and he was going to make the team. We all remember when Luna left a game against, I'm trying to remember against who, but he had a bloody nose. They put two cotton swabs in his nose, and like a minute after he comes on, he sets up a goal. That tells you something about the player, how much grit he has. The other player, Tanner Tesman, a very, very good central midfielder, a defensive midfielder. Right now, the only defensive midfielder on the team is Tyler Adams, and heaven forbid he gets injured. Yeah, they could put another player there, but you're not getting the quality of Adams or a Tesman. Tesman is, I don't think, is nowhere near what Adams is when they're at their best. But I think you need two defensive midfielders. I've subscribed to the theory over the years. One of the most important positions on the team is that central defensive midfielder. He stops goals and he starts attacks. He's not going to get very many assists, not very many goals, but he is the transition guy. We saw what Adams could do, what he did for the Red Bulls, what he's doing for Bournemouth, and also for the national team. If you lose someone like him, you need someone who's used to doing that on a regular basis. If I'm not mistaken, during the press conference today, Pochettino talked about there are other midfielders who could do that role, including McKennie, but as versatile as Weston McKennie is, I think he'd be sort of wasted in that role. I'd rather see him either as an attacking midfielder or just a workman midfielder, but not a defensive midfielder. Of course, as I say that, we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks or the next month or so. Those are the two glaring omissions.
When you look at the schedule for the U.S. men's national team ahead, okay, what would you say would be out of all those games, they have to play in the group, okay, which would be the most difficult one?
Well, I'll start with this. I've studied the World Cup for years, and the most important thing for any team is to get at least a point in that first game. The U.S. in their history, when they've lost the first game, they failed to get out of the group. Now, granted, I know it's at home, And just because it happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future. But I think the U.S. needs to get at least a draw. If they get a win, I'm not saying they're in the driver's seat, but life becomes a lot easier. We have to remember this World Cup is very forgiving. You have 48 teams, 32
Correct.
the next round. I mean, that's ridiculous. I kind of like the old system where you had 32 teams and 16 made it to the next round. Make it more difficult.
Much more pressure packed. It's not
Absolutely.
It's not just win and okay. Now but back then it was like win or else.
Right.
Pretty much that. I mean, Lanre, perfect segue here. You did your homework on the group. You did your homework on the tournament. Paraguay, Australia, Turkey. The way I see it is that if they don't get past Paraguay, they're going to have issues with Australia and even gulp Turkey. You agree with that assessment?
Definitely. I'd say on paper, Turkey's definitely the strongest team in the group. They got a lot of talented players on their squad. Most notably, Real Madrid's Arda Güler. He's kind of been taking over the last few years in the midfield. They've got Kerem Aktürkoğlu, who scored against the United States when they played over here. I believe last year it was, and Turkey got a 2-1 victory. Barış Alper Yilmaz, a really good striker. Orkun Kokcu, formerly of Benfica, now of Beşiktaş. And of course, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, the veteran number 10, their midfielder, their maestro, their captain. He's been such a great player for them all over the years. Kenan Yıldız of Juventus, he's also a great player, really tricky winger, very dangerous. If they don't get maximum points against Paraguay and they struggle against Australia, then they could come up to that game against Turkey needing to win, and they could easily fall flat on their face.
Okay. Miguel,
Now on the other, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut out, but now on the other end, Australia, while they did shock the world by placing second in their group, winning 2 games in the group stage last year, and narrowly lost to Argentina in the eventual champions in round of 16. We have to be honest and say, this is not necessarily the Australia of old, the Australia of Tim Cahill's era, Harry Kewell, Mark Vidoka, Mark Rusciano,
all those boys,
Craig Moore, Lucas Neal, Brett Emerton, Mark Schwarzer, all those guys, are long gone for the national team. These guys maybe aren't as big names anymore, but you still got capable ballers in their squad. Especially Matthew Ryan, the goalkeeper, who's very much, the quintessential veteran. Milos Degenek, who is a former Columbus Crew.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was with the Crew for about
with them.
Yeah, he was with the Crew a couple of years ago. So they have some definitely, they have some definite talent, which leads me to this question, Miguel. Pochettino, do you think he's rolling in the dice, or is he just simply lost the plot? Your thoughts?
I mean, he's taken, in my eyes, a bunch of the best guys that he could pick with those certain omissions. Okay, he's got Tim Ream still in there. Okay, he's seen better days. Also Roldan. Okay, I don't know what he's doing picking him. And then most notably, he picked Gio. Okay,
you're right
Gio
though.
Has not been in form for his club team. Okay, he would have been better off to have picked both Tessman, who plays high level in Lyon. Okay, and I can't believe that he didn't pick Diego Luna. Okay, how many times am I sending you guys in our chat group Diego Luna golazos?
Yeah.
Every game.
You kept saying, "Watch this boy, watch this boy."
I've seen him at Red Bull Arena, He was the
Watch
best
this ball.
guy on RSL. Okay,
He's a dog.
So
I mean, and like Michael, alluded to. I mean, the guy broke his nose, damn near, broke his nose. He was still balling. Okay, to me, that's a dog. There's one name that pops out there. I know this is going to sound controversial to a few. Gino Reyna. What the hell is he doing there? I mean,
Well, Gio
I'm
Reyna,
not. I'm not understanding this. It's one thing to ignore. Okay, it's one thing to ignore Diego Luna, but then you're going to pop in Gino Reyna. I didn't see enough of him coming off the bench or otherwise to him to warrant a stop. To warrant a roster spot. I mean, no one did. I mean, unless I missed something here. I mean, you guys obviously has seen a lot of soccer games as much as as more as me. Michael, I've known you've seen a lot of soccer games more than me personally. Okay, and Gino Reyna. I mean, we're not going to get crazy here with the the controversy with with the parents and everything. We're not going to talk about that. We're talking about the player and his skill set and what his body of work has done over his last cycle. Because I didn't see it, Mike. I didn't see it.
First of all, his skill set is superb. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. However, and again, right before a World Cup, I think you want players who are in form. Granted, we all know Christian Pulisic is not in form. He hasn't scored a goal since December 28th. But hopefully he'll wind up doing something for the U.S. or the U.S. could be in trouble. Reyna, though, has played, and I might mess up the stats here, I think 511 minutes this year, which is sort of like, what, 5-6 games total with with all the appearances he's made? Yeah. That's not a lot of games. There's no doubt he could do, he is talented, and maybe Pochettino sees him coming off the bench for 20, 30 minutes and maybe producing something in a close game.
Okay, I can see that.
But in terms of starting him, I don't know if I'd want to. That you're going to pull him after 60 minutes because he's probably not game fit by any means. It's a head scratcher. Who knows? Maybe Pochettino sees something that we don't see. Like I said, I was going to say the kid. He's not a kid anymore, but Reyna has incredible skills, great instinct, and that sort of thing. But in terms of, again, being in form, I don't know what form he's in because he's hardly played. You want players who have played regularly. And that's a head scratcher. Really is.
Now, of course, as far as the tournament is concerned, okay, when we said that this is probably the biggest tournament in FIFA World Cup history, we're not kidding. Okay, basically out of all the venues that will take place around the nation in Canada and of course in Mexico, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas will host the most matches of any venue at the tournament with 9. MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, that big ballpark in our backyard, will host the final on July 19th. The United States will host 78 matches, including from the quarterfinal stage onward, while Canada and Mexico will each host 13. Each tournament venue, with the exception of the Estadio Akron, will host at least one knockout stage fixture. The match schedule will actually, unfortunately, overlap with the 2026 CFL season, resulting in some murderous schedule conflicts and lost home games for the Toronto Argonauts and the BC Lions. The match schedule will also affect the schedule of the Kansas City Royals, Philadelphia Phillies, Seattle Mariners, and Texas Rangers of Major League Baseball, whose home stadiums are located near World Cup venues. So it's obviously, I agree with you that it should be the original and not this blasted something this large. Now, the host cities were geographically grouped into 3 regions. The Western region, which hosts the cities Vancouver, Seattle, San Francisco, and, of course, Los Angeles. Central region, Guadalajara, Mexico City, Monterrey, Houston, Dallas, Kansas City. And, of course, our neck of the woods at home, Eastern region, Atlanta, Miami, Toronto, Boston, Philadelphia, and of course New York/New Jersey. Well, we really don't. Do we really have to put New York/New Jersey? The stadium is in New Jersey. I'm just saying, geographically speaking, the damn place is in New Jersey. I don't know why we have to marry New York in it. Forget it. Anyway,
and New York gets all the credit too, which is crazy. How does Mayor Mamdani? How does he strike the deal before Mikey Sherrill does when the games are here? Not there.
One of the problems that FIFA is having, is selling tickets. Okay, well.
I wonder why.
Gee, I wonder why when you price tickets only to be afforded for a certain few. Where back in '94, tickets were for everybody, and that's why you had sold out venues from sea to shining sea.
I was born too late.
But this time they said, they remembered that part when it was also one of the only tournaments in FIFA history, if I read my notes, that made the organization some serious money. So they remembered that and said, hey, let's see how much we can fleece our guys in America this time. I mean, that's pretty much the only way you can. I hate to be this curmudgeon, but they should have kept the formula and kept it, and just kept it moving. That's just me anyway. Now, the group stage. And the group stage will be played from June 11th when the whole thing gets started to June 27th. Competing countries were divided into 12 groups of 4 teams. Groups A through L, and with teams with each group playing one another in a round robin. As we all know, this is how it usually works. Now, in the group standings, this is where the little wrinkle is. Pay attention. In the group standing, 3 points are awarded with win, 1 for a draw, nothing for a loss. At the conclusion of Group A, the 2 teams of each group with the 8 best third-place teams. Now, that hasn't happened in previous World Cup. Now, basically what this means is simple. If you somehow, some way, don't finish in the top 2, which Michael alluded to is a little bit more friendly, you could advance for winding up in third. You have to be among the top 8 of the third place teams to advance to the round of 32. Hey, these are not my rules. I mean, absurd as it sounds, I see a lot of head shaking right now, but that's how it
expanded.
That's another question. I'm going to go with you, Michael. Is bigger necessarily better?
No. One. I will move on.
Definitely not.
It's in one way, it's good that you maybe have a minnow team, a team like Cape Verde or Curacao that has never played in the World Cup. They get a chance to play. We don't know what the results are going to be. However, 48 teams is really getting out of hand. And there are some people in world soccer that want to see 64 teams in the next World Cup. And that's absurd.
No.
Stop.
Lord.
Stop. No. Oh, my God.
I don't want to give anyone a headache. I think I just gave you guys a headache there.
No.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's called the Participation Trophy World Cup. Great. Anyway.
Beautiful. Fantastic.
They're never going to go back to 32 teams. That's the scary part, because the next World Cup, they've got, 5 countries? Mm-hmm. Argentina, Uruguay, Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. It's across the ocean.
Really?
So,
yeah. The first few games are in Argentina, Paraguay for ceremonial purposes, because it's a centennial, which I don't know why the hell they don't just have the entire thing down there.
Because nobody wants it. That's why.
I guess it has to be.
Nobody wants it.
Argentina's not in a great economic situation anyway, so I don't blame them for not wanting the whole tournament.
FIFA's got a credibility problem, so from what I understand,
that's putting it extremely lightly.
From what I understand about FIFA, they don't take part; they take over, and when they do,
they leave destruction in their way.
Yeah, problems ensue.
Look at Brazil.
Yeah.
South Africa, Brazil, Russia, 3 World Cups in a row, just clipped.
Yeah,
even Qatar, all the stadiums clipped.
And you have to ask yourself, and you have to ask them, okay, look, it's the world's game. We get it. We understand it. But instead of it making it a celebration, you made it more of a business as usual construct and scared every other nation saying, you know what? We're better off not having it. And so this is the perfect storm. If they can get at least 1 million, which I'm sure they will, 1 million attendance, that'll be a victory for them. But for what we're seeing, a lot of folks are staying home. Not just necessarily with the prices, but of the political climate here in the United States and so on. Miguel, as you take a look, as you take a step back, okay, of what's going on with the tournament and everything else, what would be the one question you want to ask FIFA? If you had a moment with Infantino and say, "Hey, dude, let me put a buzz in your ear." What would that question would be from a football fan standpoint? Let's start there.
I don't know that I would have a question. I would just have to, tell him
question
how much of a disgrace. Okay, how much of a disgrace. Okay, yeah. A few weeks ago, he was going on and on that we have to charge those prices because in America, the college football teams charge those prices. Listen, Garry, I'm going to show you something.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys can see that, okay?
Huh?
But
he's got receipts.
Young
Miguel.
Polaroid that I found yesterday at my mom's house. And that's me. I went to Piscataway to the Rutgers Stadium. Might have been around 92. It might have been a U.S. national team game, but that's the actual World Cup. I took a picture of that with the World Cup because the World Cup was coming in, 2 years, let's say. I made the mistake of actually touching the World Cup, and the guy behind me, he almost tackled me.
You're not supposed to put your hands on the damn thing.
You're not supposed to touch it.
But I know that at the time I had like a $50 deposit. I had a $50 deposit to the.
I got Michael. As you can see, I got rogues on my team.
Look.
You're not supposed to touch the damn thing.
I'm going to tell you something. At the time, I had a deposit for the upcoming league. Okay, and because I had that, I got like first dibs to buying World Cup tickets. Okay.
Okay.
And let me tell you something. I was working a crappy job, okay? And I was able to afford the package.
And you still was able to afford the package.
Yeah. All the games at Giant Stadium, the games at Giant Stadium first round and one second round game, which turned out to be like Mexico versus Bulgaria. Risto Stoichkov, man. What a player that guy was. And then
Baller.
I thought it was okay, I'm done. But they called me up from whatever their ticketing office is and wanted to know if I wanted to go to the next round, okay? Which turned out to be Bulgaria against Germany, okay? $100, man. Okay?
$100.
I bought two on a credit card, but $100 a ticket. Okay.
So from your, you're going to move this along. So basically, from your standpoint, is not only the tournament got absurdly large, but uberly expensive. I mean, and you have to ask, like, who you presenting the World Cup for? Because it can't be for regular football fans.
A mega rich.
There ain't that much mega rich that they mega rich around. I mean, unless they want to have a repeat of what happened, in Saudi, Saudi Arabia. But really, I think they got too big for their britches, to be honest.
Garry, I won that FIFA lottery, which gave me, I could go on like when they went on sale. At a certain time, okay? Garry, when I got to my place to buy, it was like the $500 tickets. and you had to buy $500 tickets, almost $500 for the first round, and you didn't know who was going to play who, Garry. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, on top of that, Garry, they're not allowing anybody to park in the parking lot. Okay?
Funny.
Or tailgate.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me just wrap this up
Okay.
by saying the following. Okay, I mean I work in Midtown Manhattan, 42nd Street, right across the street from Bryant Park. We get tourists all over the place. I mean, even if I step out for lunch, there's always some person asking me, "Hi, sir, how do you get from point A to point B?" There was this wonderful couple that showed up. Obviously, they were there for the World Cup, okay, because that's what they talked about and everything else. They asked me if it was possible for them to literally walk from their hotel in Midtown Manhattan to the stadium. I pretty much told them it is possible because technically it is, but it is not advisable. The reason for that is that they wanted to avoid paying, the exorbitant fee or fare of, what was it at the time?
At the time, it was $150.
$150 just to get there. Okay.
Right. It's gone down to like $98. Okay.
My point, my point exactly. I mean, it's almost like it's a fleecing paradise, for people who don't know any better. But I digress. Let's talk about the groups, and then we talk about prediction. Group A: Mexico, South Korea, South Africa, South Korea, Czech Republic. That sounds like a very fun group. Group B is Canada, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Qatar, Switzerland. Group C: Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, Scotland. I like Haiti. Group D, of course, is where the United States is hanging out. Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador make up Group E. Group F is Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia. Group G is Belgium, Egypt, Iran. Now that's going to be very curious. I would like to see how they were able to, how they're able to make the tournament. But New Zealand, of course, is in Group G. Group H is Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay. Group I. Usually we don't get past this point. Group I is France, Senegal, Iraq, another country that the United States hates, and Norway. Group J: Argentina, defending champions, Algeria, Austria, Jordan. Group K: Portugal, the Congo, the republic there, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. Group L, the final group: England, Croatia, Ghana, and finally Panama. Phew, that's a lot of teams. That's Mike. What was that? Like two groups too much?
Yeah, 4 groups too much.
4 groups too much.
Way too much.
Thank God you're not asking us who's going to win each group, because I'd say what's.
No, we're not going to do that. I mean, right now the perimeter favorite, of course, is Argentina. But something tells me with so many teams, they got to fight through and everything just to make it to the round of 32. Don't think they're going to make it out of this group, which is exactly what FIFA intended. They want someone new. So I'll ask everyone, other than 2 other teams, Uruguay, being one of them, was the only one that won the World Cup about 3 times. Argentina joined the party. They're trying to win another one before Messi exits stage left. Okay, do they have a shot to do it?
I don't think so. I could tell you who I think is going to win, or am I getting ahead of myself? I think they're a good team.
Oh, please.
Let us know.
Okay, I like France. I think Kylian Mbappe. I mean, think of this. 8 years ago, he was 19 years old, and he was the player of the tournament. I mean, what a great find! What a great player. Last time around, what do you have? A hat trick in the final.
Oh man, he tried. He did everything but will that team.
France almost won it again. I mean, it came down to a shootout, and anything could happen there. I like France. I like France over Spain in the final. I know it's usually you'll have at least a South American team in this hemisphere in the final, but I just think the way the World Cup is, and just the way it's set up, but even beyond that, I'm just looking at quality of teams, and I like both those teams, France and Spain. Like I said, France over Spain.
I agree with
Right.
you, but there's one other nation that one other nation that I just want to point out. I don't know why, but I think Brazil is in the mix this time around. I know a lot of people are going to wave me off with that, but I like that. I like that group. I like how that. I like how that team is being coached by, of course, the one. The Godfather of soccer coaches. He knows how to. He knows how to corral egos together and get things done. I'm saying don't sleep on Brazil. They might be coming in the Final Four. Michael, I have one of your wonderful books that I've read from cover to cover twice, and it's been a fantastic read and one I've recommended everybody else. You have a new one coming up, so tell the whole world about that one, sir.
It is. I showed it before when Miguel was talking about he's not allowed to hold the World Cup. Well, here I am holding it in 1993-94, and
both of you guys are renegades. Look at you got your mitts all over the damn thing.
I don't know. It's probably a replica. That's the reason why they allowed me to hold it.
All right.
Wow.
It's not the actual.
I'm about to say. Okay, I'm about to say.
I figured I wanted to do a World Cup book. I was trying to figure out do something different, and I said, I've been covering the World Cup since 1986. I've seen how it's changed over the years. So I decided, well, why not do something taking some of many of the stories that I've written about various players, coaches, referees, media people, and U.S. soccer history. You might have read perhaps a couple of them on Front Row Soccer, but in the Daily News, in Soccer America, in BigAppleSoccer.com, even in the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle, and basically look at the World Cup in a different way. For example, and I wound up calling it Around the World Cup in 40 Years, an American Sports Writer's Perspective. And yes, I look toward this World Cup, but also I've, for example, Tony Meola, instead of maybe doing a feature story about him before the 1990 World Cup, well, I did something different. I had his coaches talk about him because he was the youngest goalkeeper in the World Cup. Josie Altidore, remember him with the Red Bull? I did a biographical look at him. I did a feature about the Joseph Schultz, the man who quote unquote discovered him in Florida, and it's just slightly different. It wasn't, like I said, biography stories. I had a chance to meet and interview President Clinton at the 2010 World Cup. I've got a story about that. It's different. It's 513 pages. But don't let that intimidate you. And it's 130 chapters, but don't let that intimidate you because it averages 4 pages a chapter. And it's just I think a unique look at the World Cup from a different angle. People have written a lot of very fine World Cup volumes and books, but I wanted to do something different. And my wife called it a bathroom book. And what she meant by that is that if you don't like, wait. I should have known I was going to get a response like that. But
I'm sorry.
If you don't like one chapter, move on to the next. I've got feature stories about referees, about Essie Barmahast, who was vilified by half the world, I think, at the 1998 World Cup for a controversial decision, which he was right. They needed the right camera angle to prove that he was right.
Right, I remember that there was a picture that the player was grabbing the other guy.
Right, and
But boy, did he get vilified!
I've known Jesse for many years, so it's a different type of a World Cup book. Some of my favorite chapters are the Off the Beaten Path chapters. The story about Jim Trecker and how he was trying to sell the World Cup. Jim Trecker was the head of communications for World Cup USA '94, and at the time, different environment in this country. Maybe we might have been all lovey-dovey with the game of soccer, but the rest of the country wasn't. And how he tried to sell it to the rest of the media so they could sell it to the rest of the American population. So it's a different type of a book, for sure. I like to say it's something for everyone, but I'll let the reader ascertain that.
Okay, how can they able to purchase the book, sir?
Okay, I appreciate the commercial, by the way. Thank you.
Equal time.
It's on Amazon.com. It's $29.95. We've got pictures with every chapter. I wish I could say it was color pictures, but we did not have the money. It is self-published. Well, we figured it out. My wife was the editor. I got yelled at a lot for grammar. She said, "I can't believe you're a writer and you made this mistake or whatever."
Oh, man!
But seriously, she did a very, very excellent job of making sure everything worked out well. It was a labor of love, a lot of times, but like I said, self-published at Amazon.com, and the best thing about it is if you put in for it tonight, you'll probably get it by the weekend, probably before the weekend.
All right. And we're going to call time right here. Michael, as I said it before, I'll say it one more time. We are honored by your presence. Please, by all means, stop by and say hi. The gentleman will love to have you again, especially when the break is concluded. Our next show, boys and girls, won't happen until July 27th. So the gentleman and I are going to be taking a nice little break. And then we'll get. And before we
Garry,
do that, Miguel has one last thing to say.
If I can ask Mr. Lewis,
Go ahead.
Does he predict the U.S. getting out of the group?
Most important question. No,
Very important.
Very important question.
Will, just because it's a forgiving World Cup.
Okay.
I'm not going to say they're going to win the group. I think they'll put it second or third, but I think I'll tell you this: if the U.S. doesn't get out of the group, there's going to be,
oh boy!
You hear whether it's the Twitterverse or the Blue Skyverse or whatever social media you might be following, people are going to be hitting the roof.
Oh no! People like me will be switching that off and just simply let the whole world burn. But that's just me. I've always had anarchistic tendencies.
The U.S. should be able to get out of that group stage. Only one host team has failed to get out of the group stage of any World Cup, and that was South Africa 2010.
Yes.
I know the 1990.
Qatar last time.
They did.
They got a big fat donut, 0 points.
That's right. They didn't win it. They didn't win a single game.
They didn't get a single point.
I'm trying to forget about that World Cup, but
a lot of people did forget about that World Cup.
But
yeah,
the '94 team scared list about becoming the first team to ever do that, and you just don't. It wouldn't be good for soccer in this country because the World Cup is supposed to be a boost, not a hindrance. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like burning down the bar, the party you invited everybody in. So no, you don't want to do that, of course. Once again, the one and only Michael Lewis, of course, he'll be, hopefully he'll be running us down the road. Our next show, the next game is on July 22nd. Our next show, of course, will take place on Monday, the 25th. We invite you guys, we get things back, back online. So we are done for a while, boys and girls. So that's it for us. So we'd like to thank you guys for joining us for the last hour. About an hour and 15 minutes. Ran a little long because, hey, we had Michael here. So once again, if you have any questions and comments or anything else you'd like to ask about Michael long after we sign off, remember, you can reach us by way email, RBDG, the podcast, one word, at gmail.com. Feel free to do so. We will answer anything that comes on our way. And, of course, our next show will feature, of course, Nicholas Lianos and, of course, the other Gunner supporter, which happens to be the one and only the coach, Mark Coates. So, as we all pull one last thing before we go. Red Bull 2, they lost, by the way, remember they were winning left and right? Now they're losing about 2 straight. I don't think there's nothing for them to worry about. They lost to Connecticut United. Because of that, they dropped down to 4th place now. They were literally sitting there in first place. Their next game will be hang for 1 second. I'm trying to get that information for you, please. Oh, I love it when my server decides to go to sleep at this point. Just a moment, folks. Next game for New York Red Bull 2 will be Carolina Core on May 30th. That'll take place on 6 o'clock on May 30th. They'll be on the road. They've won 5 in a row. Now they lost 2 in a row, but they're still in second place behind Crown Legacy FC. They're 5 points from the top. So that's where they are right now. So that's it for us, boys and girls. Thank you very much for joining us. We shall see you in July. Please enjoy the World Cup. It's going to be fun. Even you're watching it from the comfort of your home, which will be best advised because tickets are blastedly expensive. For Miguel Nunez, Lanre Badmus, and of course Michael Lewis, thank you very much for joining us. We shall see you guys in July. Enjoy the summer, boys and girls. We'll be back then. Till then, good night and goodbye for now.